I used to believe laughter was a thread that held a marriage together. The way she laughed, soft, infectious, full of life, was one of the first things that drew me in. Back then, every joke I made felt like a private language between us, something only we could speak. But somewhere along the way, that laughter changed. It turned sharp, edged, almost mocking, like she was laughing at me, not with me. My name's Daniel. I'm 38, an architect from Boston. I've been married to Claire for 9 years. Or, at least, I thought I was. Lately, it's felt more like sharing space with a roommate who barely tolerates my presence. It started small. The quiet sighs when I mentioned work. The eye rolls when I brought up weekend plans. The way she'd scroll through her phone whenever I tried to talk about something that mattered. But distance doesn't appear overnight. It seeps in, slow, silent, steady, like water leaking through a cracked ceiling. Before you know it, you're drowning. One night, we were having dinner. I'd made lasagna, her favorite, but she hardly glanced up from her screen, trying to cut through the tension. I joked, maybe we should just get divorced. That way you'd have more time for Instagram. She laughed. Not the real kind, just an exaggerated, hollow sound that bounced off the walls. Oh, please, Dan, don't be dramatic. Something shifted in me then. The way she brushed it off, like our marriage was some bad sitcom, stung deeper than I expected. That laugh stayed with me. I lay in bed that night staring at the ceiling, thinking about how easy it was for her to laugh at the thought of losing me. Once, I was the center of her universe. Now I was just background noise, something she learned to tune out. The next morning, I found her in the kitchen making coffee, her hair tied up, phone cradled between her shoulder and ear as she chatted away. No, he's just being sensitive again, she said, unaware I was behind her. Sensitive. That word lingered in the air like smoke. It wasn't the first time she'd said it. It used to be teasing. Now it cut like an insult. When she finally saw me, she flashed that same empty smile I'd come to recognize. Morning, babe. Coffee. I shook my head. Who were you talking to? Just Megan. Don't start. Okay, I said quietly, but it wasn't about Megan. It was about everything. The indifference, the distance, the quiet cruelty of being invisible to the person you love most. That night, I sat in the car outside our house for almost an hour. I didn't want to go in. Didn't want to watch her eyes glaze over when I spoke. Didn't want to feel like a ghost in my own home. When I finally went inside, she was on the couch, scrolling again. Claire, I said softly. Yeah, she replied, eyes still on her screen. Do you even love me anymore? She laughed again, that same lifeless sound. Oh my God, are we really doing this tonight? That was the moment I knew. The laughter that once bound us had become the soundtrack of our undoing. I didn't say another word. I just walked upstairs. That night, I slept in the guest room. For the first time in 9 years. She didn't come looking for me. The next few days were quiet. She acted as though nothing had happened, like it was just another minor disagreement. But for me, something had snapped for good. By the end of the week, I'd already spoken to a lawyer. Over breakfast, I told her we needed to talk. She smirked. Oh no, not the divorce joke again. But I didn't smile. It's not a joke, Claire. I've already talked to an attorney. Her face drained of color. The spoon slipped from her hand, clattering against the table. For the first time in months, she actually looked at me, really looked. Her world tilted, and she knew it. Wait, she whispered. You're serious? I nodded, dead serious. Her eyes searched mine for the smirk she expected, for the sarcasm she relied on. There wasn't any. Her lips parted, but no sound came out. For once, silence filled the place where laughter used to live. Daniel, come on, she said finally, voice trembling. You're overreacting. You don't mean this. I exhaled. I do, and it's been coming for a long time. She shoved her plate away and stood up abruptly. This is insane. You're angry because I laughed? Because I made a joke. I looked at her. No, Claire, I'm done because the joke became our marriage. Because respect disappeared somewhere along the way. Her hand shook slightly. She didn't argue, didn't defend herself. Maybe she finally realized words couldn't fix what she'd broken. When I left for work that morning, she didn't say goodbye, but I didn't need her to. For the first time in years, I felt clear. Over the next few days, she tried to play normal again. Made dinner, asked if I'd eaten, texted about groceries and bills like nothing had changed. But it was too late. I wasn't angry anymore, just empty. One night, she finally spoke. "I can't believe you actually talked to a lawyer." "I can't believe you thought I wouldn't," I said. She sat across from me. "I didn't mean to hurt you. I just thought you were being sensitive. I thought we were fine." "Fine," I repeated quietly. "Claire, we stopped being fine years ago. You just didn't notice." Her eyes filled with tears. "So that's it? You're just walking away?" I looked at her, really looked. I saw the woman I'd once married, carefree, kind, full of light. But I also remembered how many times I'd reached out and been met with sarcasm. How often I'd been told I was too emotional for wanting connection. "I'm not walking away," I said softly. "I'm letting go." She covered her face and began to cry, not the loud, dramatic kind, but quiet, broken sobs. The kind that come when someone finally understands what they've lost. Not the person, just the love they took for granted. The next morning, she came into the guest room where I'd been sleeping. Her eyes were red. "Please," she said, "let's talk. I can change." I shook my head. "It's not about changing, Claire. It's about caring. And that should have happened when I still believed you could." She sat beside me, voice shaking. "You really hate me that much?" "Hate?" I gave a small, sad smile. "No, Claire. Hate means I still feel something. I just don't anymore." The words hit harder than I expected. She looked winded, like I'd punched the air out of her. Later that week, she texted, "Can we try counseling?" I replied, "We needed counseling years ago. Now we need peace." That night, she called, crying, "Please, Daniel, don't do this. I made mistakes, I know that, but we can fix this." I didn't raise my voice, didn't argue. I tried to fix it when I was hurting. I said quietly, "You laughed. Now I'm healing and you're finally listening." There was silence, then a broken whisper. "I never thought you'd actually leave." "I didn't either," I said, until I realized staying wasn't love anymore. It was survival. 3 months later, the divorce was finalized. She moved into an apartment across town. Sometimes she texts about bills or mail. Sometimes she doesn't. I always reply, polite, never warm. The strange thing is, I don't feel proud. I don't feel vindicated. I just feel free. It's incredible how peaceful life becomes when you stop begging someone to care. A few weeks later, I found an old photo of us, back when things were good. She was laughing, head tilted back, eyes bright. I stared at it for a long time. That woman doesn't exist anymore. Maybe she never did. I slipped the photo back into the drawer and closed it softly. They say laughter is the best medicine. Maybe it is, until it turns into the sound of someone dismissing your pain. Now, when I hear people laugh, I don't flinch. I don't think of that night or of her. I just think about how silence, in the end, said everything that laughter couldn't. And somewhere deep down, I hope she learned that too, that not every man stays for the punchline.